Hey, what is going on, guys? My name's Avio, and I am bringing you some of the most common and most useful After Effects keyboard shortcuts that you will need to know while using this program. Like I said before, these are very basic, but they are used at more of an intermediate level where you kind of know what you're doing with this program, so you know what these tools are. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing that you're going to need to know how to do in this program is to create a new composition, because without that you can't make a video. And to do this, you just press Ctrl N, and that will open the composition settings where you can then adjust the aspect ratio, frame rate, and the duration of the composition. After you have created a new composition and you import your file or whatever you're using, and it turns out to be a different aspect ratio than your composition, and you want to figure out how to change that, you can go back into your composition settings by pressing Ctrl K, and that will open this back up. I know what my aspect ratio is, so I can now change it. Knowing how to use your tools is very important while using this program. Right now, I have the zoom tool open, and just say I want to have the selection tool, all you gotta do is press V on your keyboard, and that will open this where I can click and drag anything that is in my preview window around. Now, if I press H on the keyboard, it'll go over to the hand tool. And what this does, I can move around the preview window for any reason that you would need to. I'm not sure of any, but just in case you did need to use this, maybe you need to go around the corner, I don't know. It's very useful if you need to do that. Next, press Z on your keyboard to get the zoom tool. And just say I wanted to zoom into this number 1 down here in the corner. All you gotta do is click and drag, make a little box around the area that you want to see close up, let go, and then it'll zoom into that area. Now, if you want to go back to 100% where you could see your entire preview window, hold these two keys, Alt and the / button, and that will bring it back to 100%. And lastly, I can press W on my keyboard to open the rotation tool. And I just put a small black solid right here just in place of an object. I didn't feel like doing anything too intricate. So I can just click here and just begin to rotate it in any way that I want to. Let's just say you're trying to line up your timeline indicator with a certain beat in a song or to a certain frame, and you're having trouble using your timeline indicator by dragging it. An easier way to do that is by using the page up and page down button on your keyboard to go frame by frame to the desired spot. Now once you're there, just say I want to bring the front of this layer to where my timeline indicator is. Make sure you have this layer selected, and then press the open bracket button, and that will snap the very beginning of the layer to that frame that you specified. Now, just say I want it the other way around and I want the back end to finish right there. Easy enough, I can just use the close bracket button. And also, if I want to render this portion right here, actually let's just say from about here to where I have the end of this layer, I can press B on the keyboard, and that will snap the work area, the beginning of it, and then go over where I want it to end and press the letter N, and that will snap the work area to right there. So whenever you do render, that will be the area that will render out. Now that I have my layer, my work area, just say I wanted to split and delete the access of this layer. I can click the point in the timeline where I want to split and hold the buttons Ctrl Shift D, and that will split the layer in half, where I can then press delete to get rid of the rest of the layer that I don't need. Also, if I want to duplicate this layer, make sure it's selected, and I could do the traditional Ctrl C, Ctrl V to duplicate it, or I can delete this layer and then make sure my layer is selected and simply press Ctrl D. After working on the same project file for a little while, things tend to get a little bit cluttered. And to simulate that, I just threw together a couple things in here just to make it look like crap, really. And just say it is necessary that all 3 of these layers have to be together. I can have my selection tool out, click and drag to select all 3 of them, and then click Ctrl Shift C to PreCompose. That makes a new composition. I could rename this whatever I want. I'm going to name that composition, and when you click OK, that will put them all together. And now you're wondering, how do I move each one of these around individually? You can double click on the composition to open it all back up, where you can then go back to your video layer and have your normal project file. The next thing that you're going to need to know how to do is to reveal properties. These can vary from scale, opacity, rotation, position, and time remapping. So just say I want to add all of them to this. If you want to start with time remapping first, you can start with either. I'm going to start with time remapping by clicking Ctrl Alt T. That will open this up. Now I want to add the rest, and I can just hold down Shift to make a list. So you hold down Shift, press S for scale, T for opacity, P for position, and R for rotation. And you can let go of Shift, and that will open up all of these, where you can then drop keyframes and change the values if you really want to. I'm not going to do too much with this, nothing intricate. Let's change this back to 100. And now just say I want to line this up with my timeline indicator and try to get directly on the frames. It's going to be kind of hard. So you can press J to go to your first frame, or your first keyframe that you dropped, K to go to the next one, then K to go to the next one after that, and just say you want to go back to the other one, just press J. Just use the numbers, or the letters J and K to go back and forth between the keyframes that you have dropped priorly. The most critical thing that you need to know is how to render. I will have a tutorial on some render settings later on, but just to open the render queue, you press Ctrl Shift / where you can then adjust these settings to whatever you need. Thank you guys for watching. If you did stay here till the end, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. And also, if you could comment below on any future suggestions on tutorials, gameplays, whatever you guys would want, just let me know and I'll try my best to do it. So once again guys, my name is Advio. I'll see you guys later.